Okay, we're looking at example 1 in 6-4, and I'm going to kind of go through example 1 and these steps for success at the same time. So on our first step for success is to solve for one of the variables. Now, don't make this harder than it has to be. Looking at these equations here, I already have a variable isolated. I have y isolated. So don't make it harder on yourself and isolate something else. Use what you have. Y is already solved for. So I'm going to use that for my step 1. Step 2 tells me to substitute that into the other equation. So they're telling me that this piece is equal to y. So in for y, I'm going to put that piece. When you're doing that, make sure you use parentheses. Otherwise, you are going to make mistakes mathematically. So I'm going to take that equation, x minus 5, and instead of y, I'm going to start those parentheses. And then in for y, I'm going to put that 2x, negative 2x, plus 1, close my parentheses, and finish the rest of the equation. So now what that did for me is that got rid of the second variable and now gave me a normal equation that I can solve. Hence, step 3 telling me to solve that. I've got some distribution I need to work through first here with that negative 5, which is why those parentheses are absolutely essential. So x minus, just kidding, that turns into a positive 10x minus 5 is equal to negative 49. 10x plus 1x is 11x minus 5 equals 49. Go ahead, use those inverse operations to isolate your variable. Negative 44, divide by 11, divide by 11, x is equal to negative 4. Okay, so step 3 done, we solved. Step 4, plug your solution from step 3, so that's the fact that I got x equals 4 right here, into the equation, into the other equation, and then solve for the other variable. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to bring it up to the other equation. That other equation, I'm going to use y equals negative 2x plus 1. And in for x, I'm plugging in that negative 4 that I got. Y is equal to negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8 plus 1. Y is equal to 9. So that tells me that I have a solution, step 4, final answer in a coordinate point. My solution is, I almost just wrote x comma y, negative 4 comma 9. Be careful when you're doing that to not mix them up. I've had a lot of students solve them perfectly, but then write 9 comma negative 4 instead of the x first. And if you wanted to, you could go through and check your answer by plugging that negative 4 in for x and the 9 in for y and making sure that it worked out in both equations. I'm not going to do that.